All right, toy collectors, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to take a look at the newly released and only recently register unlocked X-Men 97. X-Men 97 Wolverine. I usually don't pick up a toy or an action figure unless it has something to do with my nostalgia, right? Some kind of a connection that I had to it. Growing up, I have been reading comic books since 1979, 1980. And I had known about Wolverine, and I had known about my X-Men, and I had known about all of the comic book stuff that had been going on for quite some time. And to be perfectly honest with you, I actually was a little bit snooty when these guys showed up, X-Men 97. Because I didn't clearly understand yet that, well, I wanted to be selfish, really. I enjoyed the fact that I knew that this was my hobby. This was a little kept secret that I had, right? It was a secret that it was kind of like my own little world, right? There was few of us who knew about it. And not everybody was, cool enough to know about the X-Men. But when X-Men 97 came out, a whole slew of other people were introduced to it, and they fell in love with it just like I fell in love with it. The great part about that is that it got way more popular, way more things started coming out for it. Eventually, we got a movie out of the whole thing. We got a series of movies, right? For better, for worse. But the Wolverine stuff was great. Anyways, Marvel exploded. We got Avengers, all this other stuff started going on. Like I said, for better, for worse, that happened. I think for better, for worse is the fact that now it was no longer just my secret, right? It was out into the world. Everybody knows now about X-Men. Are they a household name? Maybe not like Superman, but they're pretty popular, right? X-Men is cemented in our history now, in our pop culture. So anyways, ultimately I grew to love them, and I grew to love this version of them. And the reason why is actually, it's actually kind of special, because when my wife and I started, dating or whatever, I didn't realize this, but she fell in love with the X-Men because of the cartoon. And so we had a connection there, right? So the great thing was that now I had somebody who was close to me that I could talk to every day about this, crazy hobby of mine. And she happens to love this. So now, it's X-Men. It drew more people into it. It drew the person I loved into it. So I'm down with it. So anyways, let's stop rambling. And let's take a look at the packaging and let's see what's going on here. So we've got the packaging. It definitely draws you back into that whole style, right? That X-Men 97 style. You've got the logo there. It kind of points you back to it. You got the animated show Wolverine. You got the animated cast up here at the top. Let's see if I can get it there. There you go. Looking great. At first I wasn't going to get this line, but then again, when I saw it, my wife saw it, we're like, yeah, you know what? I'm in. I'll go ahead and purchase it. And especially knowing some of the joints. Anyways, we'll get into that later. Let's talk about this guy, right? So here's the packaging. I love that we're back into the bubble. I love that the card stock is somebody fell back there. I love that the card stock is super thick. It's that Spider-Man retro card back. So it's not that flimsy, goofy G.I. Joe stuff that they were using for retro card back. I heard them say they were going to make that better, so I hope so. And then on the back, you get, kind of a group shot, right, of all the X-Men. You got, Magneto. Well, Magneto was Magneto. And then you have Wolverine, Storm, Rogue. I don't remember. Was Magneto bad? Was he evil in the animated show? Because he switches sides back and forth. I can't remember. But anyways, I don't remember if he was good or bad in the show. He probably was a bad guy because they were just introducing people into the line. So anyways, so here's a digital render on the back, kind of a group shot of the first wave. I'm sure he's a bad guy. I'm sure. And the classic X logo back there. Oh, that takes me so far back. Even little collector cards that we had back in the day. But yeah, I love this. I love this setup. I love that I can see the figure. I love this packaging. Great job with this packaging, but I'm not keeping this packaging. I actually bought 2 sets now. I've bought a set to open and a set to keep mint on card because I'm a crazy person. But anyways, let's get to the figure. What does he look like? Have I seen this buck before? Maybe it's just me, or maybe I'm going crazy, but it looks like I've seen this buck before. But it's almost, I don't know, I compared it to some of the other buck that I had, and it doesn't seem to be the same one. Here, 1 second. I have one right here, actually. Come here, you. So this is the buck from the three pack, right? The triangle. The buck, I don't know. Is it the same buck? I know the legs are different because you can clearly see that. The legs are different because you can clearly see that they're sculpted differently. But is the upper body the same body? I don't know. I mean, it's close. It's got that yeah, the upper body is the same. The torso, at least. Now, are the arms the same? No, the arms, he seems to have, no, the arms are different. Well, of course they're different. There's no pinned in this one. It's not pinned. So I think there's some reuse here, but it's not complete reuse. The belt's reuse. The legs are different. Even this is different. The crotch piece there is different. So I think you have some reuse in the back, or some of reuse in the torso, but some of it is not reuse. Anyways, that's, here we're gonna leave the old Wolvie there, 3-pack Wolverine. So there is some new stuff, there is some old stuff there. So anyways, judging this guy, what he looks like, I dig it. I really like the way he looks. I would have preferred he's kind of got an angry face there. I would have preferred some of that, but it's okay. I prefer a stoic face rather than a crazy face, but I've always liked to see Wolverine. To me, in my mind, has always had that kind of a face, like that angry kind of face. He's not a pleasant character to be around all the time. His mind's been jacked up too many times, so he's got issues. So anyways, looking at the color, it's almost like a lighter color than the 3-pack. It's like a lighter yellow, a less vibrant yellow, a less vibrant blue, which I'm okay with. I think it more closely resembles, like I said, the animated series. So yeah, I don't mind this. I don't mind this at all. I think I think it looks good. How about that? Aesthetically, I would have preferred an additional like angry head, but that's about it. So anyways, let's get into looking at it, it looks perfectly great. I would say aesthetically, I would give it, a 4.8. I really like it. And the only reason I'm taking off a 0.2 is because it didn't give me an angry face or an angry expression. So anyways, there's that. Now let's get into the articulation a bit, and here's where we had a little bit of issues, and we'll get into that in a minute. The face, this head goes way back. It looks unnatural a little bit, but he is able to look way up. So there's that, and he is able to look way down. So there's that. So he's got a broad range of motion there, just a tremendous range of motion. He goes side to side. He does not have any ability to look, kind of quizzical look. Not a lot there to do that. So, but yeah, up and down, side to side, works great. T-pose, one of the most important poses that I think in action figure lore. Well, I had some problems initially with it. So what I've had to end up doing is pulling this down and then pushing in to bring him up to a T-pose. And that seems to work. I didn't think this would, there it goes. It popped out a bit. And then he can go to a regular T-pose. Same thing on this side. I got to pull this down, push this in, and pop it up. Make sure that doesn't pop out there. So there's that. So he can do a T-pose, but with some fiddling. You got to fiddle with it. I prefer not to fiddle with it. But, you know, we didn't take a close look at his face. Let's see his face there. That's what you got with his face. Always want to make sure and get... So you saw that T-pose. So T-pose is fine. Let's take a look at his face real quick before I forget. He's got some splotches. Maybe that's his hairs on his face. His face looks fine. It's pretty clean, actually. I think these splotches are supposed to be there. I think that's his beard. So it's fine. His face is fine. So we got a T-pose. We got a cut. This plastic feels, I don't know. I don't like this gummy plastic here. It's hard and gummy at the same time. I'm not sure what that's about. I don't have a problem moving it. It just feels kind of gummy-ish. So anyways, there's that. You do have a cut at the bicep. Have a double joint elbow, no pin. Double jointed elbow, no pins. You have an in and out hand here, which is great for his claws there. And yeah, that's it there. Rotates all the way around. So same thing on this hand. No differences there. And he does have a butterfly joint there as well. So does it come up pretty good? It does. It does. Let me see. Let me see if I can bring him a little closer. Can he do his little Wolverine pose there? Like, well, I mean, it's all right. It's all right. It'll do. It'll do. And he can go back quite a bit. So yeah, it'll do. It's fine. I don't mind. It's a functional butterfly. Let's see. Can he go side to side? No, he's locked. No weeble wobble whatsoever there. He does have a tremendous ability to crunch though, but not go very far back. Interesting. Crunch, yes. Go very far back. Not a lot, but that's perfectly fine. It'll do. It's enough. And he does have a cut at the waist, and it feels like this is glued in, this belt, but I may be talking smack. I don't know. But anyways, he has a cut at the belt, a cut at the waist there. No drop down hips. Now, here's where I had a huge problem. Number one, the T-pose is a little bit of a problem. Had to mess around with that. But then what I also had to do is add a little bit of oil to this one here. I had to add a little bit of oil and heat it up because, I mean, I was twisting it and I could feel, that's why I hate this gummy plastic, because I could feel it not giving. So I had to heat it up, spread it apart, heat it real hot with the heat gun, spread it apart, drop some of that shock oil in it, and then I was able to move it. Hear that? Now it's moving. Now the pin is loose and it's still sticking a little bit. And so I would just advise against forcing this. Don't do it. Heat it up and then get some of that shock oil and put it in there and then start slowly moving it around so you don't, you don't throw away, $24, $27. Don't do that. Anyways, can kick up that high, can go back that far. Pretty good. They're not drop down hips, so they're still pretty good to go up that far. Cut at the thigh there. Double jointed, pinless knees. Go that far back. Ooh, can he go further? Nah, it just depends on the cut there. All right, so that's how far he can go there. Does he have a cut at the... He does have a cut at the boot. I did not notice that at first. So there you go. He's got a boot cut there that's hidden by this, which is very nice. Well done. He does have ankle rotation there, ankle twist, and he can go, oh, that's perfect. Look how far he can go with that. And that's good enough for that. There you go. All right. So articulation wise, I think he's really good articulation wise. The only thing I'm going to take some points off is for having me fiddle with this and having me fiddle with this when it was initially open. But gosh, what figure don't I have to fiddle with sometimes, these days? So, ultimately, well, let's look at his accessories real quick, because we still haven't looked at his accessories before we give him a final rating. I didn't put on his little mask when he takes it off, so you can pop his head off and put that on there. And then, you know what? Let's pop his head off and put this. I haven't popped his head off yet. That was easy. Just pop right off. See if it pops right on. Let's see if it pops right on. good gosh, that was a little bit tougher than I expected. You know what? Look at this. This you notice right away. His ears here on the mask, these are pulled back, these are pulled forward. So yeah, I do remember that on the cartoon. They're really like pushed apart there. They're like, poof, they're really big. I don't mind that. It's okay. I mean, that's part of his thing, right? So I don't mind that at all. I dig it. Very nice. Can look up really good. Oh yeah, perfect. Look down really good. Great. Great work. So ultimately, oh, you know what? We forgot to say he comes with the claws, and then he comes with 2 fists, no claws. So you do get that as well. I would have wished for a pair of open hands, maybe grappling hands. But then again, that's his #1 technique to defend himself, right? So I'm okay with that. Ultimately, what do I give this guy? You know what, guys? I think he's at least a 4.7. He's a really great figure. I think this Wolverine is tremendous. If you don't have a great representation of him like this one or the one that came out, what's the other one that came out? The one that was on the Uncanny X-Men thing. I think that was a pretty good one too. If you don't have it, go out and get this one. This is a great representation. To me, Wolverine is also, I forgot to mention, Wolverine is my favorite X-Men. I know everybody's saying, oh, that's tired. You know, everybody picks Wolverine. I don't know. I like Wolverine. I still pick him on X-Men versus Street Fighter. Not only that, I have the first appearance of Wolverine. So I'm a diehard, man. I love this Wolverine figure. So maybe I'm a little bit biased. So like I said, I score my figures from 1 to 5. This one's a 4.7. I definitely go out and get it. I definitely recommend this one. I've got the rest of the line of the X-Men 97. I don't know if I'm going to review them all, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. So anyways, guys, really appreciate you guys watching. I really appreciate you guys subscribing. Let's continue to grow the channel and have some fun at this stuff. Not only that, but guess what? If you've been watching, there have been some hints in this video about something you can win. So don't forget, give it a shot. You never know. So again, thanks for subscribing. Thank you for liking. And as always, let's keep growing the channel. We're nearly up to 500. Let's get over that line. That would be awesome. That's fantastic. And anyways, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing and liking if you're so inclined. Again, as long as you guys keep watching, I'll keep rolling it out.